Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the High Ticket Coaching and Consultant Strategy and Growth Show. Now, if you're watching this show anywhere else but within our private Facebook community called High Ticket Client Attraction Insider Circle, definitely come check us out. We definitely love to have you join our community. Now, the group was put together specifically for our coaches, consultants, and service providers who are serious about getting up to that 6 and that 7-figure level. So if that's you, come check us out. So with that being said, I want to introduce you to one of the members of our community, Cindy. Welcome, Cindy.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Hey, you're welcome. So tell us, what is it that you do?
I am a self-mastery coach for emerging online entrepreneurs. I have a business strategy background, a virtual assistant background, but the most important thing to running a business online, I believe, is that level of self-mastery and understanding who you are and how you show up in the world. So that takes precedence over the strategy and, the algorithms and all of those pieces that come later on. So.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. So how do you define self-mastery?
I feel like it's such a vague term. It's like the definition of success. It means something different to everybody. But to me, self-mastery is first and foremost studying and knowing who you are on a very deep level, knowing how you best show up in the world, and then practicing that level of emotional mastery, emotional intelligence. We've been trained as a society to shove our emotions under the carpet and pretend they don't exist, especially in business, and that no longer serves anybody. I don't think it's ever served anybody, but when we're able to actually face our emotions and really understand what's going on there, we can begin to shift that, forgive it, let go of the past story we've been carrying, and break through into the next level. So.
Love
Yeah.
that. So how did it all come about for you? What's your what was the starting point to your business?
So I started my business as a virtual assistant. So I was working in the back end systems of a lot of these online entrepreneurs. And I put some of them up on a pedestal thinking, they're making 6 figures a year. They've got it all figured out. And then I would get into the back end of their business and realize they did not have it all figured out. I've seen the chaos behind the scenes, and it all comes down to that level of self-mastery. So I started seeking myself. I wanted to understand who I was. I was working myself to the bone, just trying to make ends meet. I have this joke in the online business world of PayPal to PayPal instead of paycheck to paycheck. And that's really what I was doing. I was hustling, I was grinding, I was doing all the things I thought were right based on the strategy I'd been taught. And because I didn't know myself and who I was and how I best showed up, it was chaos. And so I sought out a mentor who I'm still working with today. That's been 3 years now. And she helped me lean into more of the spiritual side of who we are as human beings. And it enabled me to find the balance between inspired action and just doing things because I think I should be doing them. Yeah.
So how do you figure out what's inspired action versus, as you said, doing things because you should be doing them?
Yeah, so I'm a workaholic. Totally resonate with being a workaholic and wanting to be behind my computer, doing all the things, hustle, grind. Somebody told me I should do that. That's the strategy. And when I started leaning into more of the spiritual side of things, I would meditate and then go take action, because every single action that I took after meditation was more in alignment with who I was, what I actually wanted to show up for in the world. And it really gave me this sense of peace. So I was doing work and I could get so much done in 3 hours after a meditation session, but I wasn't hustling. I wasn't trying to force things. It's that difference between being able to do things and forgetting that time exists, or doing things and being exhausted at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, powerful stuff. And that's one thing I've realized as well too, especially if you're someone who comes from a doing realm, right? So I believe that so many of us come into the online space with like, we're going to get it done and
Right?
go.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And, but something I've also noticed is just that being able to, whether it's meditating or whatever your process is, but having some type of way to kind of either disconnect from what it is that you're doing and have a different outside perspective on what you need to do. So that way, when you do show up, you come with a fresh set of eyes, and you're not just coming just to do right. You come based on, hey, this is something I've kind of sat and I've kind of thought about beforehand, right?
Yeah, and I do believe, I mean, some of the most successful people in the world spend more time thinking than they do doing. And for me, it's about really sitting in contemplation, meditation, journaling. I'm an advanced numerologist, so I really look into the numbers of things and the math behind things as well to really decide what that next action is. I've got my intention in place. I know who I serve. And from there, it's a pull to go do something rather than a push to do everything.
Hmm. Yeah, that's so powerful. I was actually thinking about life. Life is one of those funny things, right? Because my perspective have changed on life so much over the years. But one of the things I recently was like a really big insight. I was like, man, I should probably write a book, man. I'm like the Buddha or something. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But every now and then I get some insight, and I was like, life is one of those places, right? Because I realized when I first started my journey, it was like I was like kind of like the way I thought about life was I had to go find the things. I had to like be moving to find the things. And I remember when I was younger, there was a friend of mine, like we're like maybe 8, 9 or something, playing video games. But there was this friend, and he had this way he saw the game. He's like, because it was like this racing game, and he's like, what if the car that we're seeing on the screen isn't moving? What if all that's moving is the road? I was like,
That's so profound.
yeah, I was like, but at the time it made no sense. I was like, what are you talking about, man? This is like a fun, let's play the game, man. But when he said that, like a couple of days ago, I thought about that. I was like, that's kind of how I realized life and success really is. It's one of those things where because the first 2 years of my business, I always like to say that all I got good at was just get myself in so much debt. Like the last 2 months
Right?
debt. Um, but then I started realizing when and the place where I realized where I was coming from when I was at that level was I was like chasing, I was like trying to find the thing and chase and chase and chasing
Mhm.
versus now today I see life as far as what if it's just because at the end of the day time is just gonna pass anyways, right? So what if it's just like we're just literally standing there and it's kind of like the car isn't moving, but the road, which is life, is really moving. And all we need to do is instead of trying to force and just align and with the things because they'll show up and it's just about
Absolutely.
being ready to just accept it instead of like forcing or trying, right?
Yeah, I find it's like that definite the difference between that masculine energy of that hustle, grind, go, 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 the get shit done. I mean, my business name was Get Shit Done. That was the energy I lived in. And now it's more of a let's just sit and meditate and call it into me. And then when I feel inspired, then I will hustle and grind, but it doesn't wear you out. It's that difference between personal power and willpower. Willpower is not sustainable. Personal power, absolutely sustainable.
Yeah, love that. That's some powerful stuff right there. So, so in terms of the clients that you work with, right? What do you find? Are you do you help them with both strategies and mindset type of internal? How do you what does working for you look like?
Yeah, so I'm actually in the process of rebranding right now, but I have an impact incubator where they can come in and kind of get to know themselves and decide if they could be an entrepreneur. Because I think that's the first step is getting past that mindset of like, could I actually do this? So I really show them who they are and how they can show up and that they don't have to do everything that everybody tells them to do. There's no perfect way to do an online business. And then from there, they can come and play in the impact playground where we really dive into that self mastery piece, understanding who you are and how you show up, and the emotional mastery piece. And then from there, when they're ready, and they're ready to go to school, they can come to the Impact Academy where I teach the strategy. I bring all of the pieces of me to the table, all of the numerology, all of the things, and we get some shit
Yeah. Love it.
done.
So what is it, numerology? Tell
Yes.
us a bit about that.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. I'm not a woo-woo kind of person. I love crystals because they're pretty, but I don't get the sense that they can talk to me like a lot of people do. I need to have science to explain the woo. So for me, when meditation, I understand the science behind it and why it works. And when numerology was introduced to me, the accuracy and the purity of the information that was given is undeniable. I've never given anybody a numerological reading where they haven't been mind blown at how accurate it is. I use a very particular method of numerology called the Kingsborough method. My mentor developed it. It was channeled through her guides, and it simplifies it and really dials it down into, who you are, the basis of your personality. And then just like we can predict the weather or the stock markets, we can also predict the energy that we're experiencing on a day-to-day basis. Everything is energy. So when we know that and we can predict that, then we can leverage that energy to help support our business, our own personal rhythms, and how we operate from a day-to-day basis. So if you know it's going to rain, wear a raincoat. If you know you're going to have a crappy day, schedule the day off. If you know you're going to have a really productive day and you've got energy surrounding you that's supporting that, maybe you better work on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's
tell
fascinating.
me, yeah. So one of the things you mentioned, you said, the science behind why meditation works. So what is that science?
Well, I'm no expert on meditation. I'm not an expert meditator in any way, but I do know that when we relax our nervous system, which is usually what happens during meditation through breathing techniques, focused concentration on our intention, then we start to open up our intuition and our, what I like to call dolphin brain. So there's like the T-Rex brain that's completely stressed out and working too hard over here, and dolphin brain's got intuition and the sonar, and they're playful in the ocean and all of the things. So when we are in that relaxed state through meditation, then we can make better decisions. We are firing on all 8 cylinders. We've got access to bigger parts of our brain that we don't usually have access to.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about that nervous system and keeping it calm.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, meditation is a fascinating thing as well too. I am actually going through a meditation process right now.
Mm-hmm.
At first, especially if it's something you haven't really practiced, it's one of those things. Is like, what am I doing here? I got to be doing something. I got to be.
Well, yeah, because you think you should be doing something, right? You're a human being, not a human doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I know there is a lot of resistance to meditation in the beginning, and I still struggle with it sometimes because you think you should be doing something.
Mm-hmm.
But by just giving yourself, even if it's 5 minutes, to just sit there and breathe. Life is breath. So you're giving yourself the gift of life for 5 minutes to
Mm-hmm.
relax that nervous system. You make better decisions and you don't react, you respond to things that are happening in your business and in your life.
Yeah, that's so powerful. And I know, because I know most individuals, I have a lot of clients who I realize they need some type of process like that. And most of them, it's almost like most individuals I realize, especially when they come in to our programs, they've been struggling, trying and doing so much stuff. It's very hard to say, hey, let's slow down, right? Because it's like, what do you mean? Like,
it doesn't compute.
Slow down. Like, I gotta go like hardcore. But what I find is that the best way to actually get someone to actually get to a point of, and I even think about myself as well too. That's one of the best ways I do it, because my calendar is always typically filled with a whole bunch of stuff to do. But being able to come from a place of, okay, forget everything you have to do and start off like a blank calendar, something that's blank, and just come from a place of just designing. And when you start going from that realm, you start realizing that, because I think a big reason why most people don't want to do is they just don't feel like they have the time. But when you constantly design, like just scratch everything you have and just say, what if it was the perfect day or the perfect thing? And then you start designing, you're like, oh, I can fit this in, I can do this. And all of a sudden, boom, it's like this hard thing seems to be like something that just happens, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's actually one of the things that I teach in the academy, is this idea that you're the CEO of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And if you allow other people to dictate your schedule, then you're not being the CEO. But if you sit down every day, at the beginning of every month, at the beginning of every quarter, and you ask yourself, how do I want to feel today, this month, this quarter? How do I want to feel? And what does that look like? And you design your schedule, your calendar, all of the things. You design your business. Maybe you don't want to do Facebook Live and interviews all the time, and that's okay. You don't have to, right? How do you want to feel? Everything is intention, everything. So if you don't have an intention, chaos ensues.
Yeah. So I love the question you said. So you said typically when someone answers that question, I'd be like, when you figure it out, sit down, figure out what do you need to do. But for you, you didn't say what you need to do, but it's more how would I like to feel? So why that difference?
Yeah, well, it comes back to that I'm not a human being, or I'm not a human doing, I'm a human being, right? We're not put on this planet to just do a bunch of stuff. We're
Mm-hmm.
put on this planet to live life to its fullest, to feel expansive, to love, to feel bliss, to experience amazing things, to travel and to meet with people and to connect. We're not here to build websites or sales pages. That's not what we were designed to do. So if we bring it back to the bare bones of who we really are, how do you want to feel? And then all of your actions extend from there. And this
Yeah.
is something that it was one of the hardest things I ever had to learn, because I am a go-getter. I'm a hustler. I want to get all the things done. But when I started stepping away from my computer and allowing myself to be, my entire business model changed. My income increased by, I'm going to go with 10, 15, maybe even 20% within 3 months. And life got better. My relationships got better. My health got better. Just everything is this holistic success model, instead of just, I got a whole bunch of money in my bank account and my relationship sucks and I drink myself to sleep every night. Been there, done that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so powerful, and I love it too, because that's something that as I've been on my journey as well, to trying to figure out what's the secret to success. Like we all like, what's the one funnel that I need to build that's going to make me the million, like all these different things, right?
Yeah.
Versus I found that today, if someone would ask me like, what's the secret to success, and I realize success again, it's like making sure you're chasing the right thing, which is
Mm-hmm.
again knowing that you're not after things, but more of like that emotion, that feeling that you want, and finding ways to help yourself get that through whatever you decide to channel that through. But the core is just surrounding yourself with better people. I find that, and that's even one thing I'm working on right now, because I realize with my one of my coaching programs, the biggest thing is being able to not just say, hey, do this thing or whatever, but saying, hey, I'm actually in there with you. Let's do this together. Because I find if you
Mm-hmm.
want to develop a community mindset of where you realize you're around like-minded people, all the things that you would struggle with or do all these different things when you are by yourself, just because you're a part of that community, all of a sudden it just becomes a no-brainer. It just kind of rubs off on you. So you know, it's not even trying, right?
Absolutely. And I think that brings it all back to the whole concept of self-mastery.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you know who you are and how you show up in the world, and you know how you want to feel on a daily basis, you will start choosing to hang out with people that help you feel that way. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it happens naturally as you get to know yourself and learn this emotional mastery piece. And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, I don't want to hang out with that person anymore because they make me feel like crap. Or I just don't resonate with them anymore. I know I ended quite a few relationships in this whole journey because I just didn't want to be around those people anymore. And I kept reaching for the people that I wanted to become.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it just happens automatically. You just start surrounding yourself with those people.
Yeah, boom.
Boom.
Self-mastery defined.
Right?
Love it, awesome. So what's next for you? What's that vision that you have for your company and what you're building here?
Oh, yeah, it's big. I am currently in the middle of rebranding. So my website's being redone. It is still live right now with the old branding, which is totally fine. It's not too off kilter. And I'm currently building out all of the pieces for the incubator, the playground, and the academy. The academy's been going for a while now, but it just hasn't been advertised. I've just been working with private clients. And so now I'm ready to scale and up
Hmm.
level that one. So
Yeah,
yeah.
exciting stuff. And what about your the vision that you have for your clients? What's that vision that you hold for them?
Mm. I dream of a world where everybody understands their own divinity and their own personal power, to be able to tap into that personal power without the hustle, to have that success without burning yourself out.
Hmm.
That's the world I dream of.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Because it's like it's one of those places where, like, we've been conditioned to, like, if you want to do things, if you want to make things happen, just keep going, keep pushing, keep grinding. The whole word of grind. And I find that there's a lot of individuals who they believe that, so they come from a frame of mind like, if it's not hard, then I'm doing something wrong.
Absolutely. That was me. And that's why I'm so passionate about teaching everybody. You can have massive success without killing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just look at nature, nature's a perfect example of this. Nature is naturally abundant, and we're a part of nature. We are designed to be abundant, but we're so busy chasing it because we think we need it. We're like a dog chasing our tail, and we're never getting anywhere. If we were to just sit down for a minute and be open to receiving it, and it would just come our way.
Yeah, powerful stuff. Goodness. Let me see. So I guess a question now becomes: do you read books? Are you into books, podcasts? How do you consume your information, your knowledge?
I love video, and I'm a big bookworm. Books are my jam. I'm currently reading a massive textbook on the chakras right now, so that's got consuming a lot of my attention, but I've read so many of the books. One of my biggest person that I follow on video right now is Greg Braden, because he really bridges the gap between science and spirituality, and he just speaks my language.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about breakthroughs, right? Have you gotten any big insights over the past few, maybe say days, weeks, that you're like, man, I got to share this, kind of like your Buddha moment?
I feel like I have those every day right now. The world is moving a heck of a lot quicker just with circumstances in the world right now. I'm currently working with my mentor as she's teaching us to become channels. Every human being on the planet has the ability to channel. It's just a practice of opening up that channel so that we can receive more information through the quantum field. So I've been working quite intensely with her to learn to channel. I've been channeling for a couple of years, just not really public about it. I'm getting to that point where I'm ready to be more public with it. And I find now if I go for a walk somewhere in nature, it's as if I can see the quantum field. It's really hard to explain, but it's almost tangible where I can reach out and touch all of the particles and waves in the world. It's a really odd experience, but it's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. And so what do you say? What does channeling mean?
So channeling is just a higher brainwave state. And actually, Greg Braden has an amazing video that explains the brainwaves. And Buddhist monks used to do this, and now Western society is learning how to do this more and more, and learning the science behind it. Many people will refer to it as talking to their guides, speaking to angels, channeling the Palladians. There's lots of different terminology for it, but scientifically, it's a brainwave state. So when we are in that T-Rex brain, that hustle grind, our brainwaves are at a certain frequency. When we go to sleep, those brainwaves slow down. When we're in that deep REM sleep, they slow down even further. When we're channeling, they actually increase beyond that T-Rex brain. And it's like your brain goes into hyperdrive. And to me, it feels like you can just tap into the quantum field and just receive information. Anybody asks a question, you're like, oh, I know the answer to that. And you're able to find the answers to things that you've struggled to find in dreams or in T-Rex brain. And it's quite fascinating. I don't fully understand it entirely, but I definitely want to.
Yeah. I think when you get into the quantum type levels, those are things where, like, all logic, like, you have to just suspend all of it, because most of it is just like, it doesn't make sense. And that's something I've also learned as well too, as I keep getting more into those types of topics. It's like one of those places, especially with success, right? Success, most people feel like it's one of those places where you have to take the next step, and eventually you'll get there. Versus with the whole quantum, it's like the steps, like, it skips, it doesn't make sense. You could just get from here to there, and it's like you don't have to go through the steps. It's like, what? But it's like one of those places where, like, when you get into it, you have to just come from a place of, this probably does, I'll never fully understand this, but I'm willing to entertain. I'm willing to keep learning more about it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think any of us can fully comprehend the power that's available to us through the quantum field. And it takes a massive level of trust, which I've been working with my mentor for 3 years. She's probably one of the few people that I trust enough to take me on a journey through the quantum field. But we've been working on trust for 6 months in this program that we're taking with her, because that's really the crux of it. If you have the mindset that it's not possible, then it's not possible. Everything's intention. So one of the mantras that I work with is, I don't know, I'm open, and I'm curious to whatever I might learn today.
Yeah.
Because it's success is not linear. It is not linear in any way. And we see these overnight successes. We see these, all of a sudden somebody comes forefront in social media and you're like, where did you even come from? They've been doing the work behind the scenes. There's no such thing as an overnight success, but the universe does not work in a linear way. The quantum field does not work in a linear way. The success that we've defined as step by step by step by step, that's a man-made law, and it ain't true.
Yeah. You could try to follow all you want, but it's just not gonna add up. It never adds up.
No.
But, and you said you've been working. Goodness, you said you've been working on it for like 6 months. Like you've been in. Goodness, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Nice. So I guess the question now becomes because we're getting short on time, and that's a crazy thing with these conversations. It always flies so fast.
I know. It feels like 5 minutes.
Fun, right? I know, right? So if someone wanted to reach out, what's the best way for them to connect?
Absolutely. So Facebook is my jam. That's usually where I'm found. Anybody is more than welcome to add me as a Facebook friend. I do have a Facebook page, but I'm not very active on there. I prefer my Facebook profile, or they can go to my website, cindyvanarnam.com, and you can contact me through my website there. You can book a free discovery call with me there as well.
Awesome. What about resources? Do you have any resources?
Yes, I have just released a negativity detox. It's a 5-day video series that I created with my mentor. So if you ever want to meet her, she's in there as well. And that's a 5-day video series, absolutely free. And it will walk you through how we perceive the world and how to forgive and let go of perceptions that hold you back.
Awesome. And guys, all the links, Sydney, all the resources she mentioned in here as well too, I'll have them either above or below this video. So to connect, you could just click right through and you'll get connected right to her. Awesome, Sydney. Well, hey, thank you so much for making the time to be here today. Really appreciate it. Do you have any final thoughts before we end?
Oh, so many words come to mind, but I think the only thing that I want to leave everybody with is, you don't have to work hard to be successful. Give yourself a break.
Yes. Some people who watch this, what are you talking about? You tell me it has to be easy? No, there's no way.
Exactly. That is exactly what I'm saying, is that it can be easy. What if it was easy?
What if, right? That's a good question to leave off with. What if, right? Awesome. Well, hey, thank you again for being here. And we'll keep in touch, okay?
Sounds great.